Every holiday season, small business owners run into the same problem. There's too many platforms, there's not enough time, and there's like so much pressure to make all your sales happen with literally like in a few weeks, which is crazy. But here's the thing. Pinterest was made for this season, right? This is the go-to platform for this time of year. Holiday searches started months ago, literally. But now, well, now is the right time to get in the game because shoppers are definitely in buying mode, right? People are on there and they are shopping. They're not just saving. So today we're diving into holiday Pinterest strategies, how to create gift guides, seasonal boards, and some January momentum without all the burnout. Welcome back to the Pin and Plan podcast. I'm Lisa, your Pinterest pioneer. I'm a longtime member of the Pinterest business community. You can always find me there. Just tag me at Body Mind Mood. I am the founder of Body Mind and the Simple Sight Lab. Now, I have been starting the show each week with a sort of first look at what's happening across other platforms and especially this episode, because holiday strategy, when it comes to making sales and right, it's never in a vacuum. So let's start off with TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I know a lot of you are on TikTok. Let's see how these, it's breaking down here. So one of the things I noticed on TikTok lately have been like these gift guides in 30-second clips, literally 30 seconds. And they're so super fast. They're really, really easy to shop on. They're so shoppable and they're kind of snackable. Like you just can't get enough of them, right? Especially if you've got some ideas, you just kind of keep going and they're great. Actually, I was super impressed with those. On Instagram, carousels are loaded right now with like bundles. And lots of limited drops. That's something I've noticed on my feed. But the focus on posting daily, for example, it's not really there. They're not really focusing on that. It's more about creating some urgency and exclusivity in terms of what people are posting. Now, of course, on Pinterest, holiday traffic is super peaking right now. People aren't really just saving, as I said, they're searching with purpose. They're typing in things like last minute gift ideas, cozy holiday recipes, DIY, Christmas decorations. That's how like high intent traffic. I mean, you can't argue that. And it's exactly what small business owners like ourselves need to tap into, right? Now, today, as I said, let's talk about the holiday Pinterest strategies that are definitely working for this season, and how to keep sales flowing like sort of into the new year. Because, once people get past December, January 1st, everything kind of slows down a little bit. We want to keep the momentum going. But first, I'm going to jump into the poll results, which, by the way, I posted the quiz onto the PBC last week. And here are how some of the PBC members voted. Okay, now I asked, what's your content style? Here's what you said. Spontaneous creators are at 24%, which is great. Semi-planners, 31%. It's pretty big number. Weekly preppers, 29%, and batch bosses, 16%. So most of you sort of fall into that semi-planner and weekly prepper groups, and that's great. That means you actually see the value of planning ahead, but consistency can be tough, and that's fair because we are small business owners. We wear many hats. Now, honestly, that's exactly why the holidays kind of feel overwhelming, right? If you're used to creating sort of last minute, you're not batching. The holidays tend to multiply that stress for creating by like 100. Okay. Which is why, today we are focusing on a sustainable system for holiday pinning. It's because it is a little bit different than regular pinning, I would say. This season definitely changes the game a lot. So let me start with why holiday pinning is different from the rest of the year. It has three big differences really compared to the rest of the year on Pinterest. So the first difference is the search intent changes. On the pinner side, right? People are coming to Pinterest and they're searching different things. They're not just browsing, they're actually shopping. They're typing things like best gifts under $25 or easy Christmas desserts, right? The second reason is pins live longer, as we know, with evergreen content. A gift guide, for example, or a recipe pin that you put out now can keep driving clicks well into January because people use gift cards or they're planning resets or they're prepping for maybe a cozy get together or right. So those kinds of pins tend to do really, really well in terms of longevity. Lastly, competition actually spikes. So everyone's pinning holiday content right now, which means that strategy matters more than volume. I've said this in the last few episodes. I'll say it again. Consistency and quality matter when it, much more than volume of pins. So you need to pin smarter, right? You need to make more intentional pins instead of just more pins, right? So let's dig into what works best. Now, there are 3 strategies that I actually recommend to my clients from the Simple Site Lab, and I'm going to share with you. The first strategy is creating holiday-specific boards. So, for example, holiday gift ideas in 2025, right? Christmas party recipes, Thanksgiving recipes, party recipes, stocking stuffers under $25. Just make sure to keep your titles straightforward, keyword rich, no clever names, please, just the searchable ones that people are actually looking for. The second strategy that I often recommend is leaning into gift guides and bundles. So grouping your products or services, right? And remember, gift guides get saved and shared more than single product pins, right? Because they're so unique and they offer so much value and information. So they tend to be saved a lot more. Lastly, plan ahead for January. Searches shift immediately after December when people start to sort of wind down. So think about, in my case, for example, with fitness, New Year workouts, right? Healthy recipes, organizing hacks, those kinds of things. People make a lot of resolutions at New Year's and they want to start like literally that day. So think about that. If you pin content right now like that, you'll definitely catch the wave when everyone else is sort of winding down after the holidays. You'll still be up there. And holiday strategy is not about working harder. It's about working smarter with the right boards and pins for sure. Now, that brings me to this week's Pioneer tip. It's a very easy, straightforward tip. You don't need to write anything down, but just remember to add a little bit of urgency to your pin titles. You don't have to make people, feeling like really stressed, just a little bit of urgency. So for example, instead of something like holiday recipes, use something like quick holiday recipes for busy nights, right? Or, in fitness, for example, 5-bar must-haves that you can still order in time. That little bit of urgency, that little nudge makes a pin stand out during the holiday rush online, like on Pinterest. No questions asked. Now, there's a new poll this week. I'm just going to share this with you right here. I'm going to be posting inside the Pinterest business community for this episode. So here's the question for the new poll. You can vote and share your answers and share comments on the Pinterest business community. What kind of holiday content do you pin the most? Gift guides, recipes, DIY decor, seasonal services like coaching, workshops, offers. So when you've figured out how you want to vote, head over to the PBC, cast your vote, and then I'm going to share the results in next week's episode. Okay? And I could probably share them on the PBC as well as a post. Now, moving right along here, PBC Q&A. This is a favorite part. Now, I found this question. It's actually older. It's a couple of years old, this question, but it's exactly what we're talking about. So don't get hung up on the dates. I didn't start pinning, says this pinner, until late November. Is it too late to make an impact? Now, of course, we're not in November, we're in October, but again, this question is older. So my response to this would be not at all. Early pinners generally capture September and October waves on Pinterest, but December really is prime buying season. Shoppers are making fast decisions right now. So a quick win, for example, would be something like create last-minute gift guide pins with an urgency in the title. So you might want to say 10 stocking stuffers you can still get in time for something like that, right? And don't forget, January is always right around the corner, right? If you pivot into the New Year reset, your content will definitely sort of stay ahead of the curve on that, right? So if you're pivoting at the right time, the content that you've got out there, you can pivot accordingly, and you'll definitely be ahead of it, right? And remember, we're less than 100 days away from January 2026, less than 100 days away. So do bear that in mind. That's not to stress you out. It's just a fact I thought I would share. Now, speaking of getting ahead, right? When we talk about, part of the strategy, you do have to consider ads, and you do need to consider marketing and advertising. Now, I have 5 spots left. I am running my Run Pinterest Ads Without Wasting Money Masterclass. It's coming up. So set up your ads the smart way. These are some of the things I share with you. Testing budgets as low as $3 without wasting cash, and even $1 really. And build a step-by-step ad ladder that grows with you instead of draining your wallet. Okay. So that's just my little plug there. That's a wrap on today's episode. I know it might have seemed kind of fast, but that's because, the strategy doesn't have to be hard. It's fairly straightforward, fairly simple, and easy to use. Now, your takeaway here, holiday pinning is about timing, it's about intent, it's about strategy. Shoppers are moving fast, so lean into gift guides, seasonal boards, urgency-driven pins, not crazy urgency, but just a little bit of a nudge, and January prepping to maximize your reach and your conversions. Okay. Don't forget to vote in this week's PBC poll, which I will post on the PBC, and join me in the masterclass if you want to make some ads work as part of your holiday strategy without wasting money. Now, next week, we're diving into AI and Pinterest, how AI search is changing holiday discovery. Because it's definitely different this year. There's no question about it. Now, this is a big one, and it's going to truly set the tone, I believe, for 2026. So until then, keep pinning with purpose, and happy holidays. I just wanted to say that because we're getting into this season, and I'm in the spirit of it. So happy holidays, and I will see you next week here on the Pin and Plan podcast. Have an amazing week.